Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Bomb Squad Racing Truck Series. Some more action on another Wednesday night. This time coming to you from the far south, Homestead-Miami Speedway. The original, the flat version. Completely different challenge for these drivers. Of course, older pavement, only 6 degrees of banking. That these guys are going to be contending with in these corners. So bring what you brought and hope that sticks, and hope that you can beat some of these top guys here, because we definitely got some favorites coming into this thing with a smaller field, but I think that it is going to be quite an interesting show as far as just pace, strategy, you name it. These guys are going to be challenged in pretty much every regard. Of course, as usual, Zach alongside me once again.
Yo, we're here at Flat Homestead. It's gonna be a doozy.
It is going to be a doozy, and just be glad that I'm not out there, because it would be a disaster. I know I keep berating myself on these short tracks, but I get nightmares. Oh, got qualifying going on at the moment, and I got 94 laps on tap for tonight. That is certainly going to make things pretty interesting on the strategy front. Because Zach, from what you and I were just talking about, that could be a little bit close in regard to making it on 2 pit stops. But of course, it's going to depend on a few factors with these guys' setups.
Yeah, one of the drivers was telling us that when he gets on track, it says 33 laps. I think that should be about the case. It'll probably be about 30 to 31. I'm looking at actually my cup notes here from when I did a run a few months ago, and I only made it 32 laps in cup physics here. So yeah, could be 30 to 31, so it might be a little close on the 2-stopper here if this goes green. But this is a new challenge for a lot of these guys. A lot of them have not run this version of Homestead before or in a very long time, as they've been running the newer configuration of Homestead for many, many years. But Mac Daddy gonna get his 7th pole of the season. Him and KJ have been racking up the poles here in the Truck Series, and they both came in here with 6 poles apiece. Now Mac Daddy moves ahead with 7.
And I am not too surprised at that. Him and KJ, I think, are going to be the 2 guys to beat. We saw Mac Daddy and Herman Reese doing battle at Hobo last night. This time I think it's going to be between that 28 and 029. Those guys were really bringing the heat when we saw them at Indianapolis. And then, of course, Talladega came around. That's a whole different beast. So now we're kind of, I guess you could say, back to basics. Now that we're back to Homestead-Miami. And as you're saying, with the flat version, going to offer a totally new challenge as far as trying to keep these trucks under them. But again, we were just mentioning Mac Daddy with the pole, and then KJ to his outside in second place. Both those guys were able to run in the 36-second bracket. 772 for Mac Daddy, KJ in 850. And then you got to go about half a second down to Terry Scott with still a really solid run there. Qualifying P3 in the 66. Nelly in the 103 is going to be 4th. Steve Grant and Silver Bullet going to be 5th and 6th, respectively. Steve Grant, we saw him doing well also at Phoenix. Perhaps another flat track could maybe give him some luck. We'll just have to find out with the 011. Also running tonight, Monty Keller, Magoo, and Brain Fade, bringing the field to 9 drivers. And 9 drivers that are going to be putting on, hopefully, a good show for us here in the Sunshine State. Am I saying that 5 times fast?
I'm good, thanks though.
I figured.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. This track's kind of like a giant New Hampshire in a way, but with less banking. So you can kind of push. You got to kind of have weight towards the front here, but you also want it to be loose so that you can corner, but not too loose to where you spin out. So we'll see. I think Mac Daddy, KJ, they'll push the envelope pretty good here. They're very, very good at tracks like these in both CTS physics and Cup physics. So no real surprise to see them at the top of the board. But, speed isn't everything. I actually saw, thanks to our good buddy Steve Grant, on his website for Team Speedland, that last week in the Truck Series, KJ was in the lead but spun. I don't know where he spun, but he spun somewhere on the last lap, allowed Steve Grant to win the race. So just because Mac Daddy and KJ are at the top of the leaderboard by a good margin, that doesn't necessarily mean they've got it in the bag.
No, not by any stretch. I mean, heck, even at Indianapolis, those two were in the league of their own. They were coming off pit road, and they both ended up spinning. Lo and behold, KJ was able to get it done regardless after working his way back forward. But hey, them guys aren't infallible. They can certainly these kinds of tracks with these open setups, especially, can come out and bite you at any time. So we'll see who's going to be able to keep it pointed in the right direction for this entire race, and if that will pay off for them in the long run. Of course, JTN going to be bringing the coverage for the Cup race tomorrow. That will be, of course, over on the Johto Network channel. Definitely go and check that
The
out if you have not done so.
Snooze-a-thon 400K.
Snooze-a-thon?
Well, that's my prediction. Let's just say a little certain someone in a green number 18 has a lot of practice at this track, and even puts what I consider good race run to shame and makes me look like a turtle on the track. So hopefully it's an entertaining race, and it's more than just leaving it on the leader for half the night. But definitely going to be a good challenge for the rest of these guys, regardless of how that 18 does tomorrow.
And we know how Tyler likes these flat tracks. Well, I guess maybe these guys are maybe a little glad that he's not out there tonight. But they've still got the 029 and the 28 to get time with, so.
And one thing about this game track, Andrew, is you do have to use the access road on pit entry.
Ooh, that's true, and exit.
And there's grass, so like Las Vegas, can be a doozy. Which, by the way, Las Vegas game track, actually, I believe you do not need to use the access road on entry. I feel like I tested that and it didn't give me a black flag, but I could be mistaken.
I think I remember running that track once, and I think you're right. I don't think you needed to.
Yeah, the AI, it would, like, they made the lines to where the AI would use the access road all the time, but yeah, I don't think it's required. It is here, though. It is for sure required here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Definitely, probably safer though at both of these tracks to just use the access road. Just watch out for the grass.
Yeah, the grass is going to bite you if you put one foot wrong. And around you
taking
go.
A shot at it right here.
Playing it pretty conservative, it looks like. Flirting with it. Yep, good play there. 45 pit speed, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, we were just talking about that fuel window being about 30 some odd laps, around 30 to 34. Probably if you push it a bit more.
I would say you could probably save 2 or 3 laps here if you were to clutch it early and let it coast all the way through the corner. I think you could save a ton of gas here doing that, especially in Cup physics. Will that be practical? Probably not, because of, how slow you get in the corners here. Draft on the straightaways will be important, so you're going to want all the momentum you can get on exit.
All about momentum, all about carrying that speed. Furco in the chat there. Yeah, don't usually show anything in happy hour. I should probably change that, because you see some pretty entertaining stuff. So
We like to hide we like to hide the happy hour stuff from you, Furco. We're sorry. Not sorry.
It's called happy hour for a reason. Things get a little crazy.
We just didn't want you to see that one of us jumped in your 19 there in happy hour. That's all. It was Andrew.
Why you had to out me, man? How dare you?
I had to throw you under the bus before you threw me under the bus. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll just take your I'll just take your number 6 for a joyride at some point.
Not over here, you won't. I don't got no number 6 over here.
Isn't that your general number though that you run pretty much everywhere?
At Fast currently and at my league XRA, yes. But not on Saturday nights at one league I've been running the 42 recently, and then on Monday league I got the 56. Anyways, enough about me and my numbers. We're green.
We are green here at Homestead. 94 laps on tap here from Homestead-Miami. Nice jump there for KJ. Gonna get ahead quite handily around the outside there. Actually, quite impressive. Bring that speed right on down, just under 120. A little wiggle there from Mac Daddy. And going up the track there a little bit. See if everyone keeps it off the wall. Looks like just barely. Everyone will do so. And KJ from the outside pole position will lead the first lap. Rocking that number 029 ACDC Chevrolet.
Yeah, and that might be a bit too fast mid-corner here. I'm not quite sure how the trucks drive compared to the Cup cars, but 120 might be pushing it a bit. I see some of the drivers seem to be getting tight right on corner exit. They might want to back it down a little more for the middle of the corner, just for longevity's sake. But drivers like KJ, Mac Daddy, Nelly, they're able to get through the corner just fine running that speed right now. But Silver Bullet looks tight, and Magoo especially looks like really tight.
Now, lap times are definitely showing that, at least here in the early going. That's just the thing, though. If you're not someone that really can roll the center quite as well, if your driving style tends to rely more on like backing up corners and then being able to get on the gas pretty hard, aka me, that's the track like this is not going to be your best friend, because you gotta really just let it roll, let the speed scrub off, and then you got to be patient with your getting back on the gas. And if you don't, well, there's that wall for you.
Yeah, so the good thing for a lot of these guys, since they haven't run this track ever or in a few years, is that it does drive very similarly in the middle of the corner, CTS to Cup. The lap time difference is also not too drastic. So your leaders are running 37 2s and 3s right now. At the start of a Cup run, you're generally going to want to be running around 36 3s to 5s. That's for me personally. And you typically in Cup, you just slowly whittle your way down to about a 38-0, 38-1. But at the end of the straightaways, these guys are getting up to about 160, 162 miles an hour, depending on draft. In a Cup car by yourself, you're about over 170 into entry. And then middle of the corner, actually, personally, I back it down a little more, down to about 115. And you still end up running just a second over. So, the line here, these guys, they can learn that tonight. And then all I really have to adjust is their lift point, how much they slow down middle of the corner. And then you got to kind of wait on it like you do at New Hampshire. You can't just get back in the gas at the middle of the corner. You kind of got to like wait on it a couple hundred feet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's some patience. Patience is a major virtue. And a track like this, although Mac Daddy, though, if we saw him take the race lead right there, KJ tried to hold on the outside a little bit, but ultimately I probably just thought like, hey, we're early in the going here. We'll just let it roll for now. Looks like kind of that diamond shape seems to be the way to go as well. They're kind of getting a lane high through the middle of the corner and then bringing it down almost to the white line and able to get on the gas a little harder that way. Um, I don't know. Is that something that I mean, again, you have way more experience with tracks like this than I do. That tend to be a more advantageous line, being able to kind of take that diamond arc into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, turns 1 and 2 for sure. It's like an easy diamond, but 3 and 4 here is kind of weird.
Ooh,
'Cause I see it happen to KJ there. He got
oh,
loose. Oh, we got trouble behind.
big trouble. Nelly and Terry Scott. That was a big collision there with the wall for the 103. Good thing this league runs moderate damage.
Hold
Whew,
that
that was a lick.
thought.
Third place runner Nelly. Looks like maybe the apron's what got him here. Let's find out for sure.
Yeah, I was actually just going to talk about it since KJ got loose doing, I think, the same thing Nelly does here. For whatever reason, turn 4 here. Oh, that was a vicious overcorrect, too, for Nelly. Turn 4 here, right when you get to it, it's almost like the geometry is not symmetrical from the ends of 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. Because you go through 1 and 2, you diamond the corner on entry, you slide up maybe a lane, and then you like lift, and then you arc down on exit for 2, and it feels fine, feels great, feels like a normal corner. And then you go and do that for turn 3 and 4, and for whatever reason, when you get to the middle of the corner and you go to arc down, it feels like the track was made to where there's a delay for turn 4, because when you go to cut down the same way you do for turn 2, like you're hitting the apron, and it doesn't feel right for some reason. So you have to like almost arc up more or like wait a little more, because it just, I don't know if it's like a placebo effect or some such weird thing, but it seems to get like tighter coming off of turn 4 than turn 2. Like there's a tighter arc built into the track. It's really strange unless you like go on track and you experience it for yourself. But I can see that they're experiencing something akin to that as Nelly clipped the apron, and even in front of him, KJ had clipped the apron.
Yeah, KJ, I saw him dancing a little bit there, and Nelly caught him out, and that thing just caught as soon as he was trying to correct that thing, and they had just up into the wall. I was also just chuckling at the pace truck. Was going through the access road, and then as soon as he passed Mac Daddy, just mega hard turn onto the racetrack. It was not the most realistic thing I've ever seen, but everybody on pit road here. Top two are going to stay the same. But the third and fourth place runners on that run there are going to end up in trouble. Terry Scott looks like going to drop to, well, not too much. He's only going to drop to fifth. That will promote podium position to Steve Grant in the 011. There's that Speedland truck. Where Steve Grant and the guys over at Speedland, they got a lot of great stats, a lot of great information, and got a good deal that they've got going on. And of course, yeah, one of the main guys with CCR, which, as mentioned before, be bringing you guys some coverage of that league coming up in April. I believe it was April 3rd. That will be a Thursday night for their season finale to crown a champion. Couple guys bringing her down pit road here this time.
Speaking of crowning a champion, after tonight's event, there will be 10 races to go in the BSR Truck Series season. coming into this race, Nelly had a 14-point gap over KJ, 23 over Brain Fade, and 25 over Terry Scott. Of course, Nelly and Terry just involved in that accident. So a good opportunity here for KJ to maybe gain some points. Nelly, I'm sure, has some definite aerodynamic damage, if not some performance damage. I mean, he hit the wall head on with the front of his truck. We'll have to see what the pace is like for the 103. But a small field, so not too much damage, but that also means it's harder to gain back what is lost.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you got someone as strong as KJ that you're trying to keep behind you in the points. So if KJ continues to run well,
I believe this is with drops added because KJ has missed one race. So I believe he would be further back if the points were showing without the drops added.
those about to rock. We salute you. A little reference there to the sponsor on that 029.
Great season, though, so far for Nelly. Up to this point, 4 wins, 15 top 5s, 19 top 10s. So, another guaranteed top 10 tonight. Same goes for Brain Fades, had a top 10 every race this season. Brain Fade with 1 win and 14 top 5s. They're third in the points. KJ missed the one race, 4 wins, just like Nelly. However, only 9 top 5s. And then a top 10 in every going.
Wow. So that's kind of where the points disparity is there for KJ, and that's probably on his mind.
Ran here since 2004.
Oh, interesting tidbit there.
Something like that.
Not sure if broadcast heard that or not, but
I didn't have any setups, so I just grabbed flat.
I don't think yet. Can you? I'm assuming you're hearing that too, Zach.
Yes. No. Yeah. He's got me on. Yeah. So, Mac Daddy telling us hasn't been here in about 20 years from the sounds of it. So it sounds like maybe grabbed his New Hampshire setup or some such and adapted the gearing and maybe some other things to make it work here, which is what I would have done too. If I came here, I would have probably taken Keith's New Hampshire setup, used it as a base starting point, and gone from there.
And drivability, I'm sure that's what you gotta do, but yeah, Keith has still got us on the whisper there.
That's fine.
So yeah, so we got some cool little insight there, which actually
we didn't even hear him last night. We didn't
hear
him one bit last night.
There's green flag back out here coming to lap 14, and KJ, the jump, is he going to be able to take advantage? He did it on the initial start. This time though, roles are reversed. He's on the inside. Ooh, sliding way up goes Mac Daddy. That will give the lead back to that 029.
And interesting statistic just to cap off the whole stat talk for the time being. 4 wins apiece for Nelly and KJ. Difference of the top 5s is big there. 15 Nelly, 9 to KJ. Running at the finish, Nelly has finished every race. KJ has DNF'd 4 races. That is the big change there in the points.
Easter famine there, yeah, for that 029. In that regard, Nelly, the king of consistency. And right now, even though he's a little ways off of the top 5, he has already made up a couple of spots and is up to 6th. So even if he does got damage, it's not hindering him too severely. And I guess that's kind of the benefit with running the flat version versus the more modern version, and that is that aero damage won't impact you quite as severely. Handling probably, but aero-wise, you can probably get away with a little bit more. Is Monty up to 3rd?
Yeah, Nelly, I just took a look, and he's still getting up to 160 down the straightaway in draft, so might be a little safe here for now while he's got some draft in front of him. We'll have to see how much the speed is hurt later. But yeah, I'd say interesting thing too about that running at the finish stat for Nelly is I had to hold my breath for a second. KJ arced it down off of turn 4 to Mac Daddy, and I was just waiting for contact. But those two, they're too good to make contact with each other. They've raced against each other like that forever. Interesting thing I think about the whole Nelly stat of not having any DNFs is you typically will see him spin out once almost every race, but he always finds a way to just get back together and get a good finish.
Yep, it's ooh, man, yeah, I'm with you. It's pretty close with these guys. Obviously, as you said, they know a thing or two about racing side by side, and right now they are doing that. McDaddy with the lead at the stripe, and I imagine we'll probably get it on entry here. And we'll do so. Ooh, maybe not. Ooh,
Tiny bit of parking the bus there on the middle of the corner.
yeah, maybe dove it in a little harder than he meant to. See if KJ tries to go back on him.
Oh, dove it in hard, you say?
Dove, what were you chastising me about before we started?
Hey, I just made one little comment, and we're going to leave it at that for the next 30 minutes. Unless you set me up again.
You're lucky I let you get away with that. Oh. We're all having fun here. We're all adults. Perhaps a little bit immature, but we're all adults here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even thought of that being that case.
Hey, get it right. I'm a man-child, okay?
Hey, that makes two of us. Ooh, there's that apron. KJ just nudged it there. Kept it straight, no problem that time, but yeah, that's something that I'm sure is going to catch our attention a few times. If you got an ill-handling truck, it may help you, but it can be one of those evils that it'll bite you if you're not ready for it.
So good battle for the lead here. McDaddy starting to inch away a little bit from KJ. Got a hotter battle here for fourth place, Andrew, between Steve Grant, Terry Scott, and Nelly.
Nelly's caught up to Terry Scott there pretty well. So if he is hindered, as we were saying, not too severely. Monty Keller doing a great job actually pulling away from these guys up in third place, but 3 trucks under a blanket here. Terry Scott thought about making the move a couple times, but has not quite been able to get to the quarter panel as of yet. Although great run here. We'll see if he's going to take it. Ooh, block there from Steve.
I think he's trying to let him go.
I think he's bailing out of that.
Yeah, I mean, those two were third and fourth by a good margin before Nelly made his blunder. So I think Steve just kind of knew he was kind of holding him up. So a little respect there, letting him go. He'll try to follow them, figure out what they're doing here, maybe through the corner.
Yeah, Nelly just about had a moment there in 3 and 4. Saw him wiggle again, and I was like, uh-oh, is that going to be part 2? Thankfully, it was not. He held on to it and really didn't lose that much ground. So back up into P5, which, in the regard to that championship, very, very big there if he's going to try to keep ahead of KJ for these next 10 races. Of course, we still got 2 more races this month here for the Truck Series that we will be broadcasting. Next week will be a doubleheader for Trucks and Cup on the channel. And Zach, I think we're going to have some fun with this. It's going to be Bristol, baby. And then the week after that is going to be a doubleheader from Darlington. 2 very, very challenging and yet very exciting tracks that I think we're going to have a lot of fun with.
Yeah, these guys had a great race in their first race at Bristol. That was live on JTN. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do here under nighttime conditions. So it should be fun. Of course, worth mentioning here, since we won't get to talk about it during Cup tomorrow, old win record finally got snapped by one BSR Ricky J. So Ricky J alone at the top in the Cup Series all-time wins list. A great honor for a long-time member of the clubhouse.
There you go. And yeah, well earned. And congrats to Joven on that one.
Who's Joven?
Dadgummit. I did it again. Ricky J. Hopefully we'll get to see him out here tomorrow night for the Cup Series over on JTN. Everything's still staying pretty much the same here. Top two pulling away a bit. Mac Daddy, good probably 10 truck lengths ahead of the 029. Monty Keller slipping back just a little bit toward Terry Scott, but still maintaining a bit of a gap with that. And Nelly slipping just a little bit back, but still running an excellent fifth. Steve Grant now going to have brain fade to worry about, trying to hold on to sixth place here. Silver Bullet and Magoo also still out there, but looks like they're having a bit of a whale of a time out there, trying to keep those things out of the wall. Now, two very different Toyotas here in 6th and 7th. Move Steve up the track there just a little bit. Yeah, Steve definitely struggling. Probably with that tightness that you were talking about. And I think the balancing act between keeping the truck under you and it being wrecking loose, at least in my experience on a flat track, is so much more of a fine line compared to a more high bank track. I think you may have a little more room to play with that on a track with higher banking. Here, that tightrope is way, way thinner.
Steve actually going to let brain fade by for 6th.
We go for 3rd, Terry Scott and Monty Keller.
Ooh, Monty got loose on entry.
Oh, big time. Oh, he's still getting loose.
Still wiggling.
Saving it, saving it.
Going to drop him to 5th there. Nelly will get on by as well. As Mac Daddy has started to inch away from KJ at the front of the field.
We're just a little under halfway through this fuel run, if I had to take a guess.
And they're going to be approaching Magoo here. So as we're at the end of this run here, Andrew, perhaps a bit of an idea for us here. How about we go on board with Mac Daddy for a lap and see what he is doing behind the wheel?
Let's do it. So, getting on board here. I don't have the wheel enabled, so you're not quite going to see that, but you'll at least be able to hear the engine and kind of see the line from the roof cam here. And you hear him playing with the throttle in the middle of the corner there, just kind of keeping that speed rolling and not quite mashing it. He's just rolling into it, and again, that takes a lot of patience. You want to get on that throttle as early as you can, just as a natural instinct, but at a track like this, the way to go is just rolling it through, and then as the car settles down, then you can get back on the throttle. Hit the throttle a couple times to help it turn. Maybe a little too much. Oh boy.
And he got the arc he wanted for exit, but he got a little too much arc, and when he hit the gas, it started to step on him, but a good save. Keeps it rolling. Should be getting close to pit stops here.
A wiggle there from KJ's. Now we're looking from the rear. Oh boy. A wiggle again there, you can see it.
Mac Daddy looks like he might be getting a wee bit loose. Lost 0.3 of a second to KJ that time by.
On board with KJ now. Just curious to see if we hear maybe a little different strategy for getting through the corner here. We're going up to turn 3 and 4. Let's take a listen.
Mostly the same, but see what he did there on through the whole corners. He kept it low the whole time. Doesn't get a good exit though at the checkup to avoid hitting the wall. But
yeah,
about an even lap there between him and Mac Daddy.
Yeah, it seems to me like he's maybe carrying it a little harder into the middle, and then slowing it back down so that he can get back on the throttle. So maybe slightly different driving style, but all in all, these two are making it work, obviously, compared to everyone else. And Mac Daddy up the track a little bit there, but that will give him that exit speed. There are a few different lines that you can certainly utilize, and they can each work equally well. Obviously, if you're going to make a pass, though, that inside is going to be where you want to do it.
You know, we heard saw Steve Rubino say in YouTube chat last night about Phoenix that Phoenix is a tough track. Well, this is just as much of a tough track, if not a tougher track to set up for. And, you know, it might look difficult right now here in the trucks, but just wait until these guys get behind the wheel of a cup car tomorrow night.
This thing's going to be dancing all over the place. Ooh, speaking of dancing. Oh, KJ. Kicking that thing out.
I don't know who's a better dancer, Mac Daddy or KJ. I think they're both pretty good.
They're both dancing them quite a bit, and they aren't able to get away from each other. They have been pretty much maintaining this gap for quite some time. They're still well ahead of third and fourth place, which Terry Scott's still holding on to that. Nelly's at him right in the right in his view, pretty much for the most part. So Nelly's still looking really solid here. Lonnie Keller back to fifth. There's Magoo a lap down. Steve Grant has been able to stay ahead of Brain Fade thus far, and actually Silver Bullet has closed in on them. So, maybe the 4 may be finding something here, unless he may have pitted already.
So these drivers, with where that caution flag fell, they will have to pit 2 more times still for sure. Shouldn't be a fuel concern now, though. They should all be able to make it on 2 pit stops from here.
Yeah, it shouldn't be much of an issue. But yeah, we are definitely over 20 laps into this run. They went green on lap 14. So, yeah, a little over 20 laps in to this run. I imagine they probably got at least another 10 that they can go if they decide to run it dry.
Oh, I think we had a moment between Steve Grant and Brain Fade because Silver Bullet is right there now.
Yes, something definitely happened there with that 49, and his lap time really suffered that lap there, so not too sure on the condition of that 49. And now Silver Bullet definitely did not pit because, yeah, that was 4th position. Otherwise, that would have just been him unlapping himself. So, looks like everyone's still on the same strategy as it stands. And that Crown Royal number 4 looking to gain another one here on the 011 here at any point. And yeah, he's making some good laps too.
Brain Fade rebounded that time. I'm not sure if these guys are getting tight or they're just getting really out of shape loose.
That's a good question. If I had to guess, probably tight for them. Whereas these two are skating that back end around a little bit. AJ's still dropping just a little bit off of that 28. So it's just going to be a matter of who pits when and what the right call is going to be there. I got to imagine that one's going to probably look to pit before the other and try to get that undercut.
There's not a ton of fall off. I mean, these guys at the front here, they haven't even really fallen off a second from their best lap of the race.
And lap times are almost identical within a couple of thousandths.
These guys are definitely even. You know, I think if you put one in front of the other with 10 to go, it's going to be hard for the other to get by. But I mean, we've seen KJ, he has pounced on Mac Daddy on the restarts, held the lead for a few laps, and then Mac Daddy finds a way to get by, and KJ is unable to really reel him back in once he has about a 2 or 3 truck length gap. Mac Daddy really loose off of turn 4 that time, washed up a good bit, but keeps it off the wall. Cost him 1/10. Sorry, Andrew.
I was going to say, I was just going to pretty much say exactly what you were thinking there. Just lap time did not suffer that much. Only lost a 10th compared to what he was running. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, bleh, bleh. I swear, I'd be stuttering more now because of you.
Everyone that I have encountered and hung around with long enough will end up having the exact same problem over time. Whether it's Jaden, whether it's my other friends, whether it's my family. Oh yeah, it's contagious, and I'm so sorry.
Okay, I did it before anyway. I just have to remember how not to do it again. KJ 2/10 better that time by.
He doesn't hit the wall. Ooh.
I would think we're gonna enter the pit window here in about 5 laps.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that'll split it up pretty well. You get it to 50 to go. You can split it 25 laps apiece. I think that would be a great window to come in and be able to run maybe just that little bit harder than you normally might otherwise, and still be able to keep it under you. So
Monty Keller's on pit road now, coming in.
that's the call, and Monty Keller
Ooh-wee.
sideways drifting on the entry there as Nelly actually just got by Terry Scott for that third place position. We saw it as we were getting back to Nelly.
Terry's coming in this time, hearing it on the comms.
Top two staying out.
This is a tricky pit road entry. You don't want to overshoot it because you get in the grass and you're going back on the racetrack.
And that is Black Flag Central.
Oh, yeah.
What Terry's able to do, get it down to speed. Oof. Now, this is a game track, and in my experience, game tracks are usually a little more lenient when it comes to hot pitting, so I think you should be just fine. You're down to 45. And
gotta slam the brake pedal. Seeing the leaders now, they've dropped a decent amount of speed here. They've kind of hit the cliff. They're running down at the 38.3s. They look like they're getting tight. They're getting loose. All of the above.
Yeah, these trucks are handling terrible right now.
Nah, they're driving fine.
I knew you'd get it. A little iffy spot that Keith caught Magoo there.
Mac
I think
Daddy's
Keith's coming in.
Time by. KJ's going to stay out a lap.
Ooh, that's interesting. He's being really aggressive.
Easy, watch the grass. Whew. He got right up to that yellow line.
That is as close as you can get right there. That brings her down to speed nicely. Whew. Yeah, I'm with you. I was thinking he was flirting with that, and that was almost catastrophic.
Nelly coming in too.
Nelly, there he is.
Brain fade.
Gotta imagine KJ's gonna respond to this lap.
One would think. I think he could only save a lap on draft. Yep, he's coming in now too. Let's see how aggressive KJ is. Oh, he's actually a bit more conservative.
Yeah, this is going to be all advantage for Mac Daddy here. Even pitting a lap earlier, he was way more aggressive. Getting through the access road there. About even, it looks like, on initial pit entry for the both of them. So, give the advantage to that 028.
Ooh, interesting here. Silver Bullet going to go another lap.
I'm going to give him the...
Same with Steve. Steve Grant going to keep going. Mac Daddy already back out on track. Curious where Mac Daddy will line up with KJ as Magoo will go down pit road this time by.
Rain fade on exit there. And off of turn number 4 for Mac Daddy. Should get it pretty handily here, I would think. Well, actually, KJ still has to come off the access road, but it's actually going to be a little closer than I thought. It's still going to be Mac Daddy. But...
Steve Grant going to go another lap.
I was thinking, I'm looking at the gap between the 28 and the 29. They pretty much just got... Oh, boy!
KJ, sending it fresh tires.
Ooh.
I could see the hands in the cockpit from the camera moving around.
They were turning more right than left.
Hey, he's a wheelman.
He is the wheelman, but oh goodness, he's still wheeling that thing.
Steve Grant going another lap. Wonder if Steve topped off before the restart. Might be
Maybe
letting him
so.
go a little longer here.
Hoping for the yellow flag. Certainly could happen if KJ keeps driving it like that.
A Silver Bullet stayed out, I think, hoping to get a lap-led bonus point, but Steve stayed out after he pit, so Silver Bullet did not get that bonus point.
As Mac Daddy just ran his personal best a couple laps ago. And right there with that lap time, shortly after, pulling away from KJ here at the moment. Because they're all running second, third, and fourth as it stands. Steve Grant still at it out there, and
You can see a clear difference of fresh tires versus old right now as Silver Bullet goes by fresh off pit road.
yeah, it's going to be a huge difference right there.
Also see it here as Brain Fade catches up to Steve. Mac Daddy, KJ, they are running some flyers right now into the 37-1s. And Steve will be pitting this time by.
Indeed, yep, there we go. Now we give the lead back to that 028 or 28. Gosh darn it. There's our boy Tyler in chat there.
Yes, indeed, just one yellow flag so far here tonight, early on in the going. Thanks to our good friend Nelly in the 103.
There's something I could say, but I'm not going to say it over stream. But I think everyone in the BSR family knows exactly what I would say.
Fudge, Nelly.
That's one way to say it.
PG enough.
We'll take it.
Hey, if I get fined later, I get fined later. It is what it is.
Yeah, I've had F-bombs dropped during interviews already, and
Thanks, Nick. And Cody.
It was Nick and Cody, yep. That was during the Winter Series. And I think I will establish that ground rule right now to anyone who is watching or listening. I'm pretty sure it doesn't need to be said because I think everyone kind of knows it, but
I think you'll never have that problem here, and if it did occur, then I think that there would be a big problem for the person who says it.
It would be an instant whoops.
Gonna be a big fine, big fine.
No swearing during interviews, and no getting political. I only bring that up because that did apparently happen to a fellow broadcaster. And we don't want that. We don't want none of that. I don't care which side it is. We're staying away from that.
Anyway, Mac Daddy with a 1.3 second lead over KJ. Still running some flyers. I think, yeah, KJ running flyers too. These two are pretty much just even. I think it's going to come down to either a mistake or a mistake on this last pit stop coming around any time from 30 to go, essentially.
Yeah. So pit window could technically open in 10 laps from now, or about 12, as Mac Daddy just laid down the gauntlet with an OH8.
He's catching Brain Fade here. He's getting the draft off the 49.
Don't
want to push it too hard.
No.
If you push it too hard, KJ might start conserving just that tiny bit, and he might be able to get Mac Daddy at the end of the run.
See where Mac Daddy runs this time, especially with that draft in front of him. Get into the
203.
Yeah, a little slower that time.
Yeah, he backed it down.
Speaking of backing it down, yeah, KJ was a little slower there. I don't know if that's by design or maybe trying to cool his tires down a bit after some near misses.
You know, Andrew, there's another phrase that, you know, I can't really say completely over broadcast either. But I'll say the PG version of it. He's kind of just letting Mac Daddy go away here to see if he'll run his stuff up.
Yeah. And
just let him run his stuff up, and then he'll burn that sucker off, and he'll get him at the end of the run.
Oh boy, as KJ went for another slide.
Or KJ's burning his stuff off, and he's just gonna going to sink like a rock. But time will tell. We're only a third of the way into this current fuel run.
Yeah. Yeah, the strategy on when these guys pit, I think, is going to be pretty much everything. I was actually surprised that KJ had the gap as close as he did when he came off of pit road, based on the fact that it looked like he was more conservative on the access road, as well as just the fact that he pitted a lap later. Even that one lap of undercut with the tire wear being, as you said, not crazy, but definitely noticeable. I thought that Mac Daddy would have had this gap right from the get-go, but he was able to maintain that gap. So if he pits maybe a little sooner, I don't know. Maybe that could be what he needs in order to give himself a chance here. Or maybe he's just more worried about that 103 and trying to run him down for points. Because right now Nelly's in third. So
Yeah, good battle there. 1 second gap between the 103 and the 66.
66 closed the gap there a little bit that last lap. Let's see what those lap times are this time. Pretty close to even. So still could be a battle on here for this podium spot. We know how much these guys love to talk to us. That is probably the biggest honor in all of NR2003 racing. I say while trying not to laugh.
I don't know. Do you think it's as good of an honor to talk to us as it is to talk to Joe?
I think Joe. I think Joe's definitely got the edge on that one.
I don't know. I like to think we're more fun. I think the Talladega interviews kind of proved that. But
I mean,
Joe can be very fun too.
I will say, you want to talk about someone who does have a lot of fun doing what he does. That's TarnationTV and Blaine Donlon. He's always just having a hoot of a time up in that booth, and you can tell. And
Hoot hoot.
hoot hoot.
Hoot hoot.
Hooters.
Hooters. Hey.
That's where we should. Oh, that's where we should have gone.
Where? They went bankrupt.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Plus, I think that was a southern thing anyway. I don't think we ever had one of those up here.
I swear I went to one up there, like, for one of my trips. Oh, that was near Foxborough. That's right.
That would probably be the one area that there would have been one.
Yeah, it was like right near the, or would have been within the vicinity of the football stadium there.
That's where the one and only Bass Pro Shops is too. I think in this state, there's a big Bass Pro Shops right near the stadium. A lot of stuff in there.
Well, Mac Daddy's having quite the time getting my silver bullet here.
Yeah, well, KJ's not really gaining anything on him either, though.
No. Yeah, I think KJ may have, well, as you said, burned up his stuff, and now he's gonna have to be thinking outside the box. Or yeah, that too. Yeah, only gained about 0.2 there, but
The lap
still
before
a gain.
he did gain 3 back the lap before when Mac Daddy was stuck behind Silver Bullet. Remember, Silver Bullet did pit like 2 or 3 laps after Mac Daddy, so that could have been why Mac Daddy was having a bit of an issue getting by him. You know, Silver Bullet, of course, never wants to go a lap down. He's kind of like your President Ryan Newman.
I was about to say, yeah, Ryan Newman would be a pretty accurate depiction there.
And of course, that's a teammate too. So, you know, Mac Daddy giving him a ton of patience. Just doesn't want to give up too much of his lead to KJ, I think, at this point.
Yeah, lap time, yeah, gained another 10th back there for the 28. So far so good, but of course still got one more pit stop that you got to execute, and you got to execute it perfectly. And on a pit entry like this, that's no guarantee. So we'll see if that will still play into it.
Take a jump over to Nelly and Terry. That battle is getting closer and closer here. Terry is continuing to inch closer to the back of that 103 Chevrolet.
Ooh, right you are there. Not a good time to be dropping frames now, game.
We vibe.
You vibe, and I'm pretty close on the lap time there, but yeah, Terry's definitely he's got a solid truck there, and I think that podium battle could definitely heat up here. You know that Nelly is going to be wanting to hold on to that, like we were talking about with that championship battle. So every point matters as far as trying to keep the gap that you can. You got 10 races that you got to try to keep KJ behind you in the points. This was checking in on the gap there between the 029 and the 28. They literally, their last lap was literally within a thousandth of a second of each other. As there will be 30 laps to go this next time by, and Terry Scotch, another 10th that time.
It
That
could be a
Thor
little bit
Sport
of
truck's
the
looking good.
could be a little bit of that aero damage for Nelly. Remember, he
Oh,
did
yeah.
smack the wall head on out of turn 4.
Yeah, it's true. And they were running in the exact same positions that they are now. Both these guys were involved in that. Nelly running third and Terry fourth.
Better lap that time for Nelly.
And he got down into a 38.0. Ooh, push up the track there, though.
Right now, Terry's just got to find the way to get a good run on exit while getting clean air onto the nose of his truck. You know, if you get right in the wake of Nelly, the closer you get, the tighter it's going to push. Dirty air effect just as massive here on a track like Homestead in the trucks as it was last night in Cup at Phoenix at Hobo.
Yeah, I think Terry's starting to feel that, but another 10th there, so see if he'll be able to make something happen here before this pit stop. Just a brief little check on through the rest of the field here. Monte Keller's still running P5. Steve Grant, of course, a little ways off after having stayed out as long as he did that last cycle. So we're both at 6th place lap down. Then Brain Fade.
Ooh, Magoo.
Magoo, who's maybe
Trying to
getting
get
out of the way a
for...
little frantically.
Yeah, frantically indeed.
Sometimes it looks like Terry had to check up just that little bit more.
This battle is just about as even as the battle for the lead. But the gap here is a lot closer. Terry might have overdrove entry a little bit there. Looked like it might have got tight on him middle of the corner.
Yeah, I think that might be another case of we'll see what the pit stops will do for that battle. As Mac Daddy has caught up to Steve Grant. And we'll get by him without any issue. Those two also remain pretty darn even. KJ! And almost had another moment.
Ooh.
And another.
That's going to cost him big time. That's going to get the gap back up to 2 seconds.
Hooey. That's what we mean. It doesn't take much for one of these things to step out and bite you. We'll be coming around to 25 to go. Pit window is open pretty much at any point that these guys want to come in. You can easily make it on fuel. I think KJ's going to be wanting to come in here pretty soon. I think the handling on that thing is going away. Yeah, he's got to try to make up this gap that you were talking about, 2.1 seconds. Checking in with Nelly and Terry Scotch.
Terry's getting some pretty good runs off of turn 4. He's there now. It's down to 0.2 difference between them.
Yeah, they were right on top of each other here, so
We might have an opportunity here. Nelly might have drove through the middle a little too fast. Terry's
even
close.
on exit there. Yeah, Terry definitely looks like he's got a truck that he can make that pass. Just gonna be a matter of trying to set it up.
Nelly drove in deep again, a little up the track. Terry
I give Nelly the exit. And yeah, that's dangerous right there when you're Nelly. You're flirting with the potential of giving that inside lane away, and whoop, well, as right as we say that, he probably realized his mistake there and got it right down to the white line.
They were about even that last lap. Nelly a 4:35, Terry a 4:52.
Yeah, you're right. These two are also incredibly even and close to each other as far as pace. Nelly actually able to gap a little bit there.
A better lap that time for Nelly. I think Terry just got a little too close to the dirty
KJ
air
coming
there.
in.
Lost 2/10.
He's just being a
KJ
little more bold. No!
Too bold.
It's across the grass! Nearly spins it.
Yep, and aborts the pit stop.
And that may have been the race for him right there.
I give him credit. He was hauling there on the access road, but hauling just a little too much.
He had to try something.
Terry Scott, though, going to come into pit road here. Oh, Terry goes too deep. He spins out.
Oh, sideways on pit road. Boy, this Nelly's bringing it in, or Monty rather. Excuse me.
Mac Daddy in this time. Take it easy. No
You can
need
play
to
it safe.
push it.
Oof.
Locked it up, but should be fine. Oh, he hit 46 for a second there. Hopefully, he got it back down.
Oh, man. Already, what a contrast to the first round of stops. As there's KJ in again.
Oh, Nelly! Nelly just did the same thing KJ did.
And he's going to be now on the back foot here. Kept it straight. Holy moly moly. Oh my gosh, and KJ's not able to get service. There it goes.
It is now.
Oh boy. Well, as long as that's no penalty on the 28 and the no speeding penalty, I think he's looking pretty good. Is Nelly being a little safer this time? Boy, what's that going to do between him and Terry Scott's going to be the question after Terry spun it on entry.
Yeah, I'd be curious who lost more time. We'll have to wait and see. But Mac Daddy, clear sailing now.
He is long gone. We'll see where it's going to...
Nelly will actually get to lead a lap here because of his mistake.
Fancy that.
That'll actually kind of help him out.
That's true, yeah. He got that lady lap. Well, technically. And we'll give him a bonus point.
Rain Fade making his final pit stop. Nice conservative entry out of the 49. Nelly out and away. Terry is already around off of turn 4, so I think Terry should indeed jump the 103.
Ooh, it's going to be close here.
Not that close.
No? Okay, yeah, you're right. Well, closer than I thought.
See how much of the draft Nelly can keep here on Terry.
He does have some side damage, I'm seeing that.
He got that when he missed the pit road. It went all the way up into the wall on him.
Ooh.
Silver Bullet has yet to pit. He is in second, just behind Mac Daddy. But the gap from Mac Daddy to KJ went from 2 seconds to 14 seconds.
Whoa. That was the combination of missing pit road and then not being able to get service because he was out of alignment.
Meanwhile, for Terry Scott and Nelly, Terry spun it on entry. Nelly had to abort, missing the pit access the first time by. It was a pretty much even 1 second flip advantage for Terry Scott.
They just ran a 37.4 to 37.6 for Nelly there. But they do have Brain Fade just in front of them.
And that door damage on the 103 is going to make that truck even tighter than it was before when he was maybe down a little aerodynamics from the front end damage.
McDaddy running away with it here. Silver Bullet's still out on the track running second as it stands. Once he pits, that will give second back to the 029. Can't see that. Even after all that, and yet KJ's still going to be ahead of Terry Scott and Nelly after they had their issues too. So really, the only one who got away scot-free from that round of pit stops was the 28, and even he wasn't quite flawless. He had a lockup that nearly sent him into the wall. So it was a little hairier than these drivers probably wanted. As Terry's having a bit of a tough time with brain fade here, and Nelly is right back on him. Really right on him. Game on here for third.
Almost on the wall.
Into turn one. Brain fade's not really relinquishing this in a hurry. Going to keep things pretty interesting. Terry Scott, though, going to get clear. Now Nelly's going to be in the awkward spot there on exit. And nearly door slam it there. And if Nelly's able to get clear here, which he will. So now we'll see if he's got the handle and try to be able to stick with that 66 and do what the 66 did to him and reel him back in. 15 laps to go.
And Silver Bullet coming down now for his final pit stop of the race. I'll put KJ back into second.
And McDaddy going down the back straightaway all by his lonesome. Looking pretty good, so we're going to, at least as it stands, we're going to be sticking to this battle for third place. And Terry Scott with that edge at the moment. But not by a whole lot. They're very, very close lap times that time between the two of these guys. They do have Monty Keller a little further up the ways here. That could become a factor.
Also got Steve Grant, who I believe has yet to make his final pit stop of the evening.
Magoo is coming in, and you caught a glimpse of him there. Yeah, Steve Grant, after how long he managed to stay out that last run. Wouldn't be surprised if he's going to try to do the same here and maybe see if he can get a lucky break or caution. Nelly's still looking pretty sporty, almost a tenth quicker that lap. A little lower on the track there. And I think as long as he's in draft, he's definitely doable for him as far as speed goes. He's just got to try to keep that truck under him. Looks like it got a little tight in turn two that time. So battle's definitely not over here for third place. This, of course, being the closest battle on the racetrack. As we got 12 laps to go here from Homestead-Miami. And a track that's been testing these drivers' patience, that's for sure, but still only one caution. And overall a very clean and green race. You always do love to see that. Both these guys are really leaving it out there on the exit of 4. You see him getting a little sideways, getting right up to the wall, using every bit of real estate that they have. 11 laps to go as it stands. First checking in on McDaddy, who's already at 10 to go.
Yeah, McDaddy also slowly reeling in the 103 and the 66. Don't think he'll catch them.
Nah, I don't think so. I'd fancy that. I mean, yeah, he's going to be lapping most of the field here. 10 laps to go for this battle.
This battle could go either way. Nelly's got a slight tire advantage. He sends it deep there into the middle of 1 and 2.
That was a great corner there, and looks like it's going to stick fairly well, so he does close that gap. I think he's just kind of trying to keep running that lower lane, and that's what will give him the best opportunity to try to close in. I didn't just see the lights blinking, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm seeing things.
I think you saw Nelly's exhaust firing off.
That probably was what I was seeing. Ooh, great lap time there for him in comparison to Terry Scott, 10th and a half. Ooh, getting close.
Now you see double-edged sword there. Every time Nelly sends it into the corner like that, he's heating up the right front some more. Wearing that right front a little extra bit. Only going to be able to do that so many more times until it starts pushing up towards the outside wall.
Yeah. Ooh, especially if you get a blink from Terry Scott. Yeah, up the track there a little bit, and yep, exactly what you're talking about.
Now you lose more time than you would have gained.
Like I said, double-edged sword, and unfortunately it bit him there. Mac Daddy crossed the line to start lap 88 of 94. Just keep that thing under you, and you've got this thing looking pretty darn good. Continuing to check in on this battle between these two. Terry Scott now with some breathing room. Does have Nelly or Monty. That's the second time in this race that I've done that. As Steve Grant does bring it down pit road.
Yeah, that's Steve's final pit stop there. Remember, he was on that alternate strategy. Didn't really work out for him. I think he had an issue after he pit. Because he was just never really able to use anything that he had gained by staying out long.
It was probably just one of those strategies that you're like, hey, you catch caution, you're going to be in great shape, and if you don't, well, then it may bite you. But you might as well give it a shot when if you're not having the best of nights. So credit to Steve there, and always good to see him out on track.
Steve actually calling it a night early here, opting not to bring it back out to finish these last 6 laps.
I think that will make him the first and only retiree, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that may allow Magoo to jump him for 8th.
There's some extra points there. Checking in on the gaps here, it's 17 seconds for Mac Daddy.
And don't forget, 14 of those seconds are from KJ's mistakes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it came down to, was missing entry, and then out of alignment in the pit stall, not getting service. It just accumulated that quickly, and that's what will seal the deal. Because at this point, I think we're within the realm of point of no return, and a caution will end the race under the yellow. So all the 020, or gosh darn it, I did it again. All the 28 has to do is keep the truck under him, hope it doesn't blow up, and coming to 3 laps to go, he is looking awfully good to win 2 in a row on the channel, both last night and tonight.
Nelly's still not going anywhere behind Terry Scott. They just hit 3 laps to go.
And Nelly may be reeling him back in a little bit, but it's gonna take a pretty Herculean effort in order to get to him and pass him. Yeah, that's what you're talking about right there, is really getting it on the entry, and then it steps out. Oof, good save.
Got close to that turn 4 apron again.
Yeah, that apron hasn't caught anyone else since we've seen it, so that's good to see at least. As
actually, now they just hit 3 to go. They were on 4 to go previous lap.
2 to go now for Mac Daddy. Going through 1 and 2. He can probably see these guys in front of him. How crazy is that? Can you say domination on the part of Mac Daddy?
Indeed.
As these two are going to take their 2 laps to go. Mac Daddy coming out of turn 4 to take the white. 1 lap to go here from Flat Homestead. And KJ, the one that may have had something for him after his mistakes, gonna end up giving this one to McDaddy pretty easily. Checking back up on this battle with these two. Nelly's still closing just that little bit. He's gonna sail it here pretty good. They still got another lap to go. And actually, Nelly's got pretty darn close.
Take old Mac Daddy home, and then we'll get to focus on this battle for third.
Sounds like a plan to me. As off return number 4, 2 in a row on the Top Traction channel. Mac Daddy's going to win it at Homestead in the Bomb Squad Truck Series. And in dominating fashion, no less. Man, he is good on these flat tracks, and mad props to him. KJ.
Ooh, Nelly with a bit of a run here on Terry off of 2.
Will emerge in second place. Let's see who's going to be sailing it here.
Nelly's going to give it a big send.
Big send there. Terry Scott, though, we're going to get the run off, and he will get third, maybe. Had to check up. He got it.
Almost called it too soon there, Terry. Yeah, Terry had to check up to not hit the wall, and got lucky there. Nelly was using all he could. Nelly got to the quarter panel, and Nelly had to make a evasive maneuver. Great battle for third. Pretty much there, I'd say, for this whole second half of the race.
Back onto the start-finish straight and up against the wall. It's burning down those rear tires as that 28, and deservedly so. Fastest truck all night long. Fastest lap of the race. Pole sitter. You name it. He did it tonight.
Second win on the season for Mac Daddy in his 12th start. Third top 5. 12th top 10.
That was a beautiful burn down there, too. Very nicely done. And a great, great race there. 1 single caution. Despite the fact that things got a little spread out there at the very end. Still had some great battles that we were able to focus on there. So, all in all, a pretty fun night. Only 1 retiree, and that was Steve Grant there at the very end. Just opting to let everyone else race it out. Official results will be Mac Daddy, KJ, and Terry Scott. We'll be trying to get a word with those 3, of course. Nelly coming up just short there, but still a great recovery, all things considered. Going to finish 4th after a night of 1 big crash and some pit road issues there. So, great rebound for him. Silver Bullet will finish with a P5. Monty Keller, Brain Phage, and Magoo going to round out the cars that were out on track at the very end of it. Of course, thank you to anyone who tuned in for that one. Going to have a couple nights off from streaming, and then we'll be back on Sunday night for the Hobo Truck Series. Actually, yeah, next week. Now I'm thinking about it. Next week's going to be
another 4 race week for you.
Another 4-pack, yeah. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Hobo, BSR. So I'm excited for it. Of course, that will be Las Vegas for both Sunday and Tuesday, and then Bristol, baby, for Trucks and Cup for these guys. Gonna be another great week of racing, and then of course we get to Darlington for BSR the week after. I'm gonna sneeze. Felt that one coming on. And of course, as always, we're going to be continuing to try to upgrade these streams and just keep trying to make them look just a little bit prettier each and every time. As I think we'll let Keith get his smoke in. His TeamSpeak status has changed to Smoke BRB. See if we can at least get Terry Scott. Poke him first. make sure that they're not in the middle of any serious discussions.
User joined your channel.
What's going on?
Hey, there he is. Terry Scotch, third place finish tonight, man. And one heck of a battle that you were having with Nelly pretty much from start to finish. It came down to the very last lap there. But you were able to fend him off. You caught up to him at one point. Both of you guys having your moments on pit road that kept it awfully close between you guys.
I'm not
But
supposed to say anything about that.
I, it had to be mentioned, at least a little bit. But hey, you still beat him anyway.
Yeah, he was better on entry, but I think he was too loose to get back to the throttle. He was, he struggled the first time he spun out on that caution. So I kind of used that to my advantage and I beat him on entry or exit almost every lap.
And paid off for you really well there. I just gotta ask you though, as far as driving out there, this track seems like it was just a brute out there with the flat nature of it and just that fine line that you're dealing with between the truck not wanting to turn and then all of a sudden it turns too much. I'm sure that was all kinds of fun.
It reminded me of Loudon, just like a big Loudon. Only it was way more line sensitive. Like you just said, you could not get off line or the truck did things you did not want it to do.
That's exactly what Zach described it as, just a bigger New Hampshire, pretty much. Speaking of Zach, you got any questions for Terry?
Did you have fun tonight, Terry?
I did. I did when I heard Nelly say he spun out because I had spun out and I was like, dig on it. You know what I mean? I gave up a third place spot. I didn't have anything for the two guys up front, but I did think I could beat Nelly. So yeah, that made it fun.
All right. Will you have fun tomorrow night?
Yeah, Cup and me, whole different game. I hope I don't hurt anybody when I'm driving a Cup car.
Cup is going to be spicy. Tune in to JTN for that one. But Terry, still a great run for you. Despite what took place, it's still going to emerge with a third place finish. Of course, you know the deal. Closing thoughts, shout outs, whatever you want. Have at it, my man.
Well, first of all, big shout out to Top Dragsters, Andrew Miller, Zach Rogers. I've seen your shows. You do a hell of a job. Thank all the guys at BSR, um, Magoo for doing all our admin and Brain, and Brian Boyles and his wife Kathy for putting on this show, and just the rest of the guys, Monty and Brain and Nellie and Steve Grant and all the other guys. It's a family. It's a really good time. Really good place to race.
I'm glad to be a part of it. I appreciate you guys for having me on board and for having me a part of the family as well. But Terry, good job tonight. Best of luck tomorrow, and we'll see you back on the channel next week.
All righty, thank you guys.
Right on, man.
User left your channel. Error.
Error. I already moved the guy there. Let's see. I asked nicely if Terry wanted to come down. We'll just get KJ in here. Why not?
Get him in here.
Get him in here.
User was moved to your channel.
There he is. KJ, copy?
Yeah, I got you, Andrew. My voice is kind of going out, but I got you.
Yeah, it's no worries. But no, man, you had a dang fast truck. But I can only say this because I know I can get away with it. You blew it. No, I'm just kidding. But
It was fast, but I'm gonna take it away from Keith before he says it when he gets in here. I was fast, but I wasn't quite fast enough.
Yeah, I was about to correct Andrew myself. I was gonna be like, he was there, but he wasn't leading as much as we saw Mac Daddy. But how was that race for you, KJ?
I am physically tired. I don't know if y'all got in car with me, but that car was out of control from lap one. It was good in practice. It was snug. I could run the bottom and just kind of wrap the bottom. We got in a race, and I keyed up on the radio lap 5. It's like I'm extremely loose. I'm just barely hanging on to it already. So I don't know what happened. It's the first time I've been on this track since probably 2004. So we just picked a setup and threw something at it. None of us really knew what it was going to do. So it was kind of a guessing game. And Keith was just a little bit better than I. He get off the corners a little better than me. So that's all it took. And my colossal mistake, that dive bomb I did go on pit road, I was trying to make up 2.5 seconds. That was the only chance I had. I knew if I could get in front of him, I might be able to hold him off. I was never going to pass him.
It's I mean, all in all, whatever you guys threw at the wall, it definitely stuck pretty darn good. Despite the fact that he seemed to have that slight edge. And then you have all the pit road stuff with the overshooting, and then it looked like you're a little out of alignment trying to get that thing actually serviced. But all in all, there was still second place, and all in all, you also finished ahead of Nelly, which creeping up on him on that championship.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard about what happened last week, but I gave that
Yes.
race away on the last lap. That was I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I had everything go wrong in one lap. I thought I had the pit entry good, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, and I kept it from wrecking, and I came back around, and about the time I got to the box, Terry pulled out, and at that point I couldn't even get in the box, and I was never going to get in there, so I had to miss it and come back in and get it serviced, and at that point I knew it was over.
That's what it was. Okay.
Did you just kind of summarize what happened at the Glen? I actually discovered that you had spun because I was going to get stats for Hobo last night, and it said right on Team Speedland's website, Steve Grant wins Watkins Glen after KJ spins on the last lap. So I'm curious, what did you do?
I hit the curves coming up through the S's like I always do, and I don't know. It hit,
spun.
and it's like it bottomed out or something caught the track, and I had no chance of catching it. It did a 360 instantly as soon as I hit that curb. But I hit it the same way every lap, the whole race, and I guess I hit it wrong one time, and it was the worst lap to do it on.
Dang, that sucks.
We've all been there.
I'm always good for one spin on a road course. I might be fast, but I'm always good for at least one, and I picked the last lap to do it. So.
I did the same thing in the cup race, except it wasn't on the last lap, and thankfully it didn't kill me. So, but yeah, that was an unforced error. Thanks, Tyler. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, we saw how. Sorry, Andrew. I was just gonna butt in real quick and say we saw how loose you were tonight. I could see your steering wheel moving from the TV1 camera.
Yeah, I was turning right pretty much out of the corner after lap 5, just sliding everywhere, hanging on to it.
Yeah, we were on board with you there for a handful of laps. We were on board with Keith as well, and it seemed like he was kicking out a little bit, but yeah, I could tell, and even just visually watching you, you were definitely way more on the loose side. So the fact that you were able to hold on to it and never went around, honestly, to me, is just a testament to the car control that you've got in that thing.
I tell you what, the best adjustment I had all night was when I popped the wall twice coming off turn 4. Made the thing drive better both times.
Tightened it up. Hey, if it works, it works. But still though, second place and closing in on that championship, even if it did get a little more iffy than you would have wanted after last week. But hey, we didn't stream that race. I was on the road, so that panned out quite nicely.
Yeah, there's no video footage of that happening, so it didn't happen.
It did not happen. We're just telling folklore over here. It never happened. But great job, man, on the runner-up. Of course, you know the deal. Closes lots, shout-outs. Have at it.
First, I want to give a shout out to Keith, old Mac Daddy there. He put it on us tonight. I made him earn it a little while, but I had no chance of beating him unless he messed up. So he had a better car. He did what he needed to do. So good win, Keith. He dominated. It's always good to win one like that one. Just put a beating on people. So good run. Had fun racing there. It was fun that little bit we were together. Thank you, Andrew and Zach here at Top Dragster Broadcasting Network. I was listening to a little bit of it, but it's kind of hard to do that while I was racing this thing. Good stuff, a lot of information. Y'all throw a lot of stuff at it during the races there. So good job, and I'm sure the video will be good too when I go back and look at it. Thanks to all the admins here at Bomb Squad Racing for everything to do each and every week. That was a tough track. None of us have raced that track in so long. I'm surprised we didn't have that caution again after that first one. We were all slipping and sliding everywhere. So good job to everybody that showed up tonight to race, keeping it straight.
Keeping it as straight as could be. But hey, great job, man, and good luck tomorrow. And we'll see you again next week.
I also want to give a shout out to Matt. Matt was ready to quit. Silver Bullet. He was so out the lunch there to start with, but he finally figured something out at the end. So just goes to show you, if you don't give up, you can always learn a little bit of something. So, and before I forget, Terry's never up here. So good run, Terry. Nice podium.
Yeah, nice podium. We got to talk to him, which was pretty cool. And hey, Silver Bullet, you stuck it out and got a top 5 out of it. So congrats to Matt there. And congrats to this guy, KJ, on that second place.
User was moved out of your
There we
channel.
go. Looks like our boy is back from his smoke break. What do you say we talk to this guy,
User was moved to your
Mac
channel.
Daddy? Copy.
Mac Daddy in the house.
2 in a row on the channel, man. That's pretty sweet.
That was a damn ass whipping tonight.
you put on a clinic out there once again, and hey, even if KJ did have anything for you, I mean, I even told him he blew it, but he still got second. But it seemed like you were the one that were able to figure out just how to drive that thing. He was saying that you guys haven't really run this track since like '04. We even heard you say it over whisper at one point. But whatever you threw together there, it seemed like it worked out really well. I do have to ask, was it a New Hampshire-esque setup that he had in there?
Well, I started with New Hampshire's the first one I started with, and it was good, but I could never get it to feel right. And I tried Phoenix, and I tried something else, and then I went to Milwaukee, and Milwaukee ended up being the set because it was just more balanced. And I could turn, it would turn and get a little loose, but it would turn. And then sometimes it would step out, but you can catch that. But yeah, it ended up being a Milwaukee set. It was pretty good.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. But I can definitely see that with the very, very similar profile corners. So that's a kind of a neat insight there. I guess the only other question that I can really think of for you, yeah, with it stepping out on occasion like that. I'm sure that made you a little nervous. We actually went on board with you at one point in time and watched you run a few laps. But other than that, that thing looked like it was pretty darn settled into the racetrack, especially even in comparison to everybody else. That track looked like it was an ice skating rink.
Yeah, I think I ended up dropping the fourth gear, making it taller, and that helped some with it being loose on exit because I was running a little shorter gear, and I'd jump on the gas and try to jump sideways. So a little taller gear helped, and run a little faster down the straightaway. Wasn't pulling as many RPM, so it worked out. Yeah, it was a good race. One caution. That was pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. Zach, what you got?
Did it ever get a little too loose on you? We saw KJ really wheeling it, and looked like you were wheeling it too sometimes. Any heart in the mouth moments there for you tonight?
Yeah, that first run, there was several. Oh Lord, I thought I was gone one time. I got down too low in the one, and I was riding with my left tire right in that this little 1 foot area, and I thought I was gone, and all of a sudden it just caught. I was like, whoo. So I took a couple clicks of track bar out of it, and then the rest of the race, it was pretty doggone good, unless I just missed the line a little bit. It's really line sensitive. You miss the line a little bit and get back in it too early, you push, or you can get loose either way. But it was, yeah, line sensitive, good setup. Yeah.
We'll see you. Will we see you tomorrow night on JTN?
We might. It depends on how work goes tomorrow, but hey, you never know.
And what was the drink of choice tonight?
100 proof, baby.
All right.
There you go. You're gonna be celebrating a little bit, I imagine.
Yeah, I might fix me another drink before I go to bed. Yeah, a little celebration. I drank a couple beers out last night after the race. That was good. So it's been a good week. Hey.
Hey, 2 in a row, 2 days in a row, twice on broadcast. Yeah, you're making it happen. We'll hope that you'll be able to make it tomorrow night onto JTN and see if we can go for the trifecta. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that. But of course, as usual, before we let you go, whatever closing thoughts and shout outs you want to give, you may have the floor.
I'd just like to thank Volos Trucking and Magoo and the guys that run this place up here, do a damn good job. KJ for sponsoring the race and for running second. I really appreciate that. No, KJ was really good. He could stay with me the whole run, and then at the end I would start pulling on just a little bit, but it was good all night. It was a two-man show basically, and just had to keep from wrecking. But anyway, shout out to KJ, good run, and everybody else who showed up tonight and put the time in, because I don't know that anybody else said it, but I was wore out at the end of that thing. Good Lord, that was tough.
AJ will definitely sharing that sentiment. He was wiped out. But still, though, a great win. Another dominating win. Best of luck tomorrow. And hopefully we'll be seeing plenty for next week. We got 4 streams going on, and I have a funny feeling that we'll probably be seeing you in most of them as well.
Oh, yeah, we got 2 at Hobo, and then is next Wednesday also?
Yeah,
Yes,
next
sir.
Wednesday and Thursday. We stream both Bristol races.
baby.
Oh, yeah, Bristol? Oh, Lord. Y'all might be in for a workout next week.
We're ready for it. We'll make it happen.
No, it's usually pretty good, but you never know.
Anyway, you never know.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all do a great job. Thanks everybody who tuned in and watched Mac Daddy kick some ass. Later, guys.
Kicking ass and drinking whatever the heck he wants, and
Evan
deservedly
Williams,
so.
100 proof. You got to try some of that Evan Williams 100 proof. It'll get you going, bud.
All right.
I feel like knowing my tolerance, I would drink 2 sips of that, and then I would be, I'd be down for the count. So, maybe someday.
You are a little fella.
I'm pretty tiny. I don't think that would help. But great job, man. Go celebrate.
Appreciate it, guys. Later.
Later.
User was moved out of your channel.
Zach, one caution tonight. Some dominance on the part of Mac Daddy there. And hey, this will lead us into next week with Vegas and Bristol. But closing thoughts on the action that we got to see tonight.
Yeah, great race. One caution. Can't complain. Good to have a green flag run. You know, really helps to experience long green flag runs like that for the maybe first, second, third time. I don't know if, about you. First time for me for online to see a run that long. So it's good to have it because, you know, it kind of gives you a moment to gives you those moments to figure out like where all the battles are at, what to focus on, to keep you talking. So, you know, you don't got any of that dead air. So it was good fun. And yeah, looking forward to Bristol next week. And I hope these guys have a great race tomorrow night in Cup and put on a good show for Joe and whoever Joe has in his booth, if anyone. Sometimes he solos them, but hopefully Joe has a good time tomorrow night as we did tonight.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to tune in myself. Again, it's Joe Toe Network here on YouTube. Definitely go and check that out. Of course, we always got to shout out Blaine Donlon as well, TarnationTV, Seth Cole of Flatout Racing Network. Them guys always putting on good stuff whenever they're streaming NR2003. So, as always, I'm just glad to be a part of it, and hopefully we'll keep moving up and being able to put on just as good a show as them guys. So, thank you, Zach, as always, for all your help, as well as for the thumbnail tonight.
Yeah.
That was our guy Zach's creation, and we appreciate him every day.
I sent you some more
for what you do, and I'll be seeing those then, and you guys will be seeing those for when those streams go live. But until then, though, we'll enjoy the weekend. We'll see you all on Sunday night for Hobo Trucks from Las Vegas. Until then, though, thank you again to Zach, and congrats to Keith McDaddy on the race victory.
McDaddy!
McDaddy! Take care. Bye for now.